Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and I love real Star Wars. First generation Star Wars fan, EU guy, franchise closest to my heart. I will defend Star Wars to my dying day because it must be defended against the trash that is Disney Star Wars and those who pretend to be Star Wars fans, those who want you to think they actually like Star Wars, but in fact they are the fakest fans, they are the shills, they are the stands. And that includes Leslye Headland. Yes, yesterday we got our first look at the Acolyte coming out on June 4th. I will be here for that god-awful episode premiere. But until then, we get to talk about how she is a fake fan. She is an agenda-driven piece of crap. A monster who was the gatekeeper to another monster. Remember that. Leslye Headland doesn't care about Star Wars. She cares about her agenda. And when you hear her talk about Star Wars, it's always fake. There's no soul to it. And it's even more apparent in an interview she just did with StarWars.com. They even had the emptiest of emptiest husk, Kristen Baver, give the interview. Kristen Baver, if you don't know, she is their professional front woman for Star Wars. She's a shill. She's empty. She likes to take pictures holding things and say, oh my God, look, here's Star Wars. When I guarantee she's never actually touched real Star Wars, let alone understood it. But we're not here to talk about Kristen Baver. We're here to talk about this creature, Leslye Headland. Whatever you think the Acolyte is, it's not Star Wars. Series creator Leslye Headland reveals first teaser trailer. Now, this article, not very long, but we're not going to spend a whole lot of time. We're gonna zero in on the important parts. The first important part is right here when they pretend to create a backstory for Leslye Headland's Star Wars experience. And I say pretend because there, to me, are several key words here that prove they don't know what they're talking about because they aren't real fans. The creator of the newest Star Wars live-action series first discovered the galaxy far, far away as a teenager, watching the special editions on the big screen and immersing yourself in the expanded universe of books like Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. Right there. That is the go-to book if you say, oh, I started you, I read Heir to the Empire, if you're a fake fan. If you are a real fan and you read the books, you don't say, oh my God, I started with Heir to the Empire. No, you say, I started with the Thrawn trilogy. Because to actual real Star Wars fans, there are only 3 real Thrawn books. No, I don't count the duology at the end of the Birth of the New Republic arc. I don't count those because Thrawn's not actually in it. It's called Spectre of the Past for a reason. Point is, Thrawn appears in only 3 actual Star Wars books. Everything else Timothy Zahn wrote, he wrote for Disney because the man needs to make a living, get a paycheck. I don't blame him for that. But right here, you don't say Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. You say the Zahn-Thrawn trilogy. That's how you say it. And that's how you prove your worth. Because guess what? These days, this is what gatekeeping is. I hate to say it, but this is what gatekeeping is. There must be purity tests. Are you real or are you a fake fan like Leslye Headland, who doesn't care? I think it just meant so much to me because it was a place to live, a place to escape to. Not just the media, but George Lucas had given you enough signposts that it's almost like Narnia. You could go into Star Wars Galaxy and live there. And then you just have to come out of the wardrobe at some point and go to class.
Tell me, what kind of Star Wars fan are you?
I am the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have a favorite movie. I just want to live in the universe of Star Wars continually, in perpetuity, forever.
She seems to just want to live there all the time. It's almost as if that's her robotic, automatic response when asked, what do you love about Star Wars? I just want to live in Star Wars. Hey, please, Pink Kathy. Moving on. Set during the era of the High Republic, the Acolyte will begin to unravel how an esteemed organization like the Jedi Order could be in its golden age and also on the cusp of chaos that unfolds in the Skywalker saga. Red flag number 2. The High Republic isn't a real thing. It's Disney created. George never had a High Republic. There was the Republic, which later was retitled the Old Republic once the First Galactic Empire came into being. And then there was the New Republic. There was never the High Republic. It's creating a fake timeline that they can make bad stories up in. Because remember, the High Republic is a failure. Nobody cares about their fan fiction. It sells literally in the thousands. Not tens of thousands, the thousands. Nobody wants this. Nobody's interested in this. And nobody cares that you're creating a story about lore-breaking Sith in the Acolyte. Remember that. We're gonna come back to that at a later date. Not this video because it's not part of the discussion, but just remember they're breaking Sith lore. If Star Wars is about the underdog versus the institution, in the Acolyte, the Jedi are the institution. I was so interested in a storyline where the Jedi were the height of their power, and I don't mean the Phantom Menace, because at that point, there's a Sith Lord in the Senate, and they're not picking up that. There's a Sith Lord in the Senate that they're not picking up on. Headland wanted to explore further back when seeing a Sith seemed as likely as encountering a Velociraptor. Like, it's a thing I've heard of, but it's not a thing that you would ever consider you'd be interacting with. Once again, fake fucking fan. There is a thing I've heard of. There is a little game called Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Star Wars The Old Republic. Those little games that have been out for, some cases, almost 30 years now. Some cases a decade if you're talking SWTOR, where the Sith are prevalent and active in a very large force, and you see it. It's a thing I've heard of. Well, clearly you haven't actually gone near Star Wars. And your other red flag of fake fanness, talking about the Phantom Menace, that Palpatine was in control and the Jedi didn't know he was there. It's cherry picking a line or a moment from the movie to pretend you know something about Star Wars. With a darker tone focusing on the duality that exists beyond the simplistic black and white view of good and evil, the Acolyte asks a key question before the fall of the Jedi: what went wrong? And if the bad guys are actually underdog, it just seemed like a cool reversal. Remember what they said during Star Wars Celebration 2023. This isn't about good and evil. There's no good and evil in Star Wars. It's all perspective from a certain point of view. Once again, bastardizing Star Wars terminology in order to make your agenda-driven point. They don't want you to have lines of good and evil. They want your truth type of bullshit. They don't want you to understand that there are yes and no, one side, other side. Remember, this is Leslye Headland, queer Leslye Headland, who wants you to remember that the alphabet mafia is in control of what you need to watch.
When I saw Frozen as a grown-ass woman, I cried through the entire movie. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this that is, for lack of a better term, Disney, meaning it's something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person. And I think I would have had a completely different life. And so I really was inspired by it and was like, God, I would love to make a story like this.
We now come to the Hollywood Reporter, who have unintentionally made this a talking point, showing us Leslye Headland doesn't care about telling a story. She only cares about agenda. Star Wars The Acolyte creator Leslye Headland is currently putting the finishing touches on a 4-year journey that started with Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy buying her old World Series pitch in the room. Remember when she begged Queen Kathy for the role?
Oh, please, Queen Kathleen Kennedy.
At the time, her hook was Frozen meets Kill Bill. We can stop right there. Frozen meets Kill Bill. We just listened to what Leslye Headland thinks of Frozen. To her, it is a queer masterpiece. That all that matters, doesn't matter that it's a story, a lame story, frankly, but it's that has anything to do about an adventure, this and that, about finding strength in oneself. All that mattered to her was that it was a queer love story between two sisters. All she cares about is the not-so-secret agenda. And what do you think the Acolyte's going to be if she calls it Frozen meets Kill Bill? Does this sound like Star Wars to you? If you watch the trailer, is there any inkling that this is Star Wars outside of, oh, look, lightsabers, oh, look, Jedi, oh, look, aliens. There's nothing Star Wars about this. It's all false. You've heard me go over her phrases, her wording. She doesn't actually have true Star Wars meat on the bone. All she has is just word salad to snow the stupid stands who stand under the dog ready to take a dump in their mouth, saying, thank you, Disney, can I have some more? This is where we are. This is where Disney has led us, and frankly, keep going. Burn this monstrosity to the ground. I am ready for this. January 4th, I will be here, and I guarantee it's going to be dog shit. Watch me rip this apart. It's going to be a good time. And when it's all said and done, after the false numbers that a 2-episode premiere will produce, when this is all said and done, if they even release the Samba numbers, final episode, less than 500,000. I predict. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm going out there right now saying that. But either way, burn, Disney, burn. Disney Star Wars is shit, will always be shit. There is nothing redeeming about it. Yes, and/or sucks. All right, I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be very much appreciated. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe to me right here on YouTube. We hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, because facts and logic do not care about whiny Stan, fake fan, and SJW fifis. Hit the notification button. Share my videos if you like what I'm preaching. By all means, leave a comment. Love to hear from the true passionate Star Wars fan like you. I care what you think. I do not care what the fake fans and stans have to say, because 201, you're all cowards behind keyboards who just want to reeve at me, calling all kinds of names to make yourself feel better about liking fake Star Wars. Thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.